Alright, what's going on, guys? Boy TG, welcome back to another video. So in this video, we're going to recap the best moments of 2022. So as you know, year 2022 is coming to a close. 2023 is around the corner. And I just want to recap all the hockey moments that have happened this year in 2022. And we'll start off with Alex Ovechkin's 802 goals. That's right. I had to get that one as a starter because if you guys did not know, Ovi scored 802 goals in his NHL career. In the game against the Winnipeg Jets, he got 801 to tie it, and then empty net goal to end it to pass Gordie Howe for that. And that was just a huge moment for Alex Ovechkin in that game against the Winnipeg Jets. I know he wanted to get 800 at home, but it had to be done on the road against my Chicago Blackhawks, but still a great moment nonetheless. As we all know, Ovi has done a lot in his NHL career, and he's won Stanley Cup. He's won multiple Rocket Shards, probably multiple Arvos trophies. He's had a lot of 50-goal seasons, so he has just done a lot to carry his team and a lot to get to where he's at right now. And hopefully he'll pass Wayne Gretzky on the NHL's all-time scoring list, because so far top 5 scores on the NHL's all-time scoring list is Wayne Gretzky, Alex Ovechkin, Gordie Howe, Jaromir Jagr, and Brett Hull. Hopefully I got the last 2 right, but you guys can tell me in the comments if I didn't. Anyway, on to number 2. Lightning make it to 3 Stanley Cup finals. So even though they didn't win their 3rd straight Stanley Cup, which I'm not going to lie to you guys, I did predict that they'll win their 3rd straight Stanley Cup because they were a stacked team. But they lost against the Colorado Avalanche, and that was a good Stanley Cup final. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed all 6 games of the Stanley Cup final. Thought the Avalanche were going to win the Stanley Cup at home, but the Lightning forced the Game 6, and the Avalanche got it done in Game 6 to win the Stanley Cup. The Lightning, well, actually, even though the Lightning did not win their 3rd straight Stanley Cup, they still are a dynasty team because they still had them back-to-back Stanley Cups, and they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals before in 2015, but of course they lost to my Chicago Blackhawks. But the dynasty team, they won their back-to-back Stanley Cups, so that's good enough for Tampa. That's good enough for their fans, and I'm pretty sure the fans got their money's worth seeing their team going back to the Stanley Cup Final and going to the games. Even though the Lightning ended up losing, it was still a great playoff run for the Lightning. It was still great to see them make it back to the Stanley Cup Final for the 3rd straight year. And as I talk about Lightning Avalanche Stanley Cup Final, number 3, Avalanche win the Stanley Cup. So Avalanche won the Stanley Cup for the first time since 2001. So in over 2 decades, Avalanche take home the Stanley Cup. Cale Makar takes home the Conn Smythe Trophy. And really, Cale Makar has had a great season in the 2021-2022 season, winning both the James Norris, the Conn Smythe Trophy, and I think that's it. But he still had a good season nonetheless. Nathan MacKinnon finally got to win his first Stanley Cup because we know in 2021 when the Avalanche got eliminated by the Vegas Golden Knights, he won. He was upset in that interview, in that post-game interview, where he said, "I haven't won blank." But he finally won something. He won his first Stanley Cup. And it was just so great to see. Avalanche had a good playoff run, sweeping the Predators, beating the Blues in 6, sweeping the Oilers, and then taking out the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning in 6. So good playoff run for the Avalanche. Cale Makar, Conn Smythe Trophy, well-deserved from him. He's one of my favorite players to watch. He's one of my favorite NHL players, and it's good to see that he had a stellar season and gets to take home MVP award. Number 4, the All-Star Game goal by Trevor Zegras. So if you guys didn't know, The NHL brought back the Breakaway Challenge, which PS, that is my favorite skills competition event, and I hope they bring it back this year when the NHL All-Star Game takes place in Florida. So hopefully they'll bring that back again, just like they did in the All-Star Game earlier on this year, like in February of 2022. Where they had the Breakaway Challenge. So, as you guys did not know, Trevor Zegras scored a goal with a blindfold on his head. So he had a blindfold covering his face, and somehow, some way, he found a way to put the puck up into the net. So it was just cool to see Trevor Zegras score that All-Star Game goal. Just spun around and still was able to put the puck into the net. So that's obviously cool to see from Trevor Zegras. He is an outstanding player, a skilled player, going to be a Hall of Famer soon. And he has 99 career points as of right now. He may get to 100 points. So, yeah, I can't wait for that to happen because obviously I love seeing Zeeks up on the score sheet, and hopefully he keeps racking up goals, racking up assists, mostly goals, because I like to see this kid score. Number 5, the 2022 NHL Winter Classic. So that was in January 2022, because every Winter Classic game is January the 1st. We get to see the Bruins and Penguins in this year's Winter Classic, but I'm going back to this Winter Classic from January 2022, and it was between the St. Louis Blues and the Minnesota Wild, and that was an outstanding game. I think it was below freezing at that game, so everybody was freezing to death. Well, they were bundled up, so I mean, yeah. And it was at the Minnesota Twins stadium, the baseball team, Minnesota Twins. So it was at that stadium. And it's cool, and it was a good Winter Classic because it's fun to have outdoor hockey in Minnesota. Because you guys don't know, Minnesota is the state of hockey, and it was fun to see the St. Louis Blues and the Minnesota Wild in the Winter Classic in Minnesota. So, and that was a good atmosphere. Pretty much all Winter Classics are really good, but the one I really liked the most was St. Louis Blues and Minnesota Wild because jerseys with fire, outstanding atmosphere. It was really cold at that game, kind of like how it was in 2014 Winter Classic when the Maple Leafs and the Red Wings were going against each other. So that Winter Classic was like really, really cold, colder than any other Winter Classic game you can ever think of, and that just stood out to me as one of the top 10 hockey moments of this year. Number 6, Oilers and Flames. So we got to see Battle of Alberta playoff series, I think for the first time since 1990. I could be wrong. Tell me in the comments if I am wrong. But I think it's the first time we got to see Battle of Alberta in the playoffs since 1990. And it was between the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames, which the Oilers did end up winning that series. Connor McDavid scored the OT game-winning goal to send the Oilers to the Western Conference Final for the first time since 2006. And we know that they made it to the Stanley Cup Final in 2006, but ended up losing to the Carolina Hurricanes. They had a lot of star power on both the Oilers and the Flames. You got to see Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl for the Oilers, and Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk for the Flames. And let's talk about Game 1 for a second. Because obviously Game 1, we got a Matthew Tkachuk hat trick. So he scored a hat trick in Game 1. And there were a lot of goals in Game 1. I think there was like 15 goals in total in Game 1. I could be wrong, but I believe there was like 15 goals in total of Game 1 because I think the final score in that game was like 9-6. So 15 goals in total. But I could be wrong about the score. So, but I believe the final score is 9-6. It could be 8-6. I don't know. but I think it was 9-6. But anyway, game one was just absolutely wild. Matthew Tkachuk ended up scoring a hat trick. Brady Tkachuk and Matthew Tkachuk's father was at that game, supporting Matthew. So yeah, and also game two. Game 3, Game 4, Game 5 was all Edmonton. Evander Kane ended up having a hat trick in that series. So we got to see 2 hat tricks in the series. We got to see a Battle of Alberta. That's good enough for me. So number 7, Matthew Tkachuk, Jonathan Huberdeau trade. One of the top 10 hockey moments for me because that was a wild trade. That was a wild trade. A trade that just fell from out the air, literally, because no hockey fan expected this trade coming. After we saw the Johnny Gaudreau signing to Columbus, nobody had saw this trade coming. So over the past summer, Matthew Tkachuk was traded to the Florida Panthers for Jonathan Huberdeau. It just shocked me, and I did do a video on it when this happened. It just shocked me because we never expected this trade. We knew that in the past summer, we knew that Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk were thinking about leaving Calgary or maybe staying in Calgary. We did not know what was going to be the future of Calgary until now. So we didn't know Johnny Gaudreau was going to go to Columbus. We didn't know Matthew Tkachuk was going to be traded. That was up to the GM. And obviously, right now, without Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk, the Flames, I say the Flames are doing. They could be doing good, but I don't think they'll be a playoff team at the end of this season, is what I'm saying. They might be doing good now, but I don't think they'll be a playoff team at the end of the season. Number 8, speaking of playoffs, we got to see that cool playoff goal, end-to-end goal for Nathan MacKinnon in the second round series when the Avalanche took on the St. Louis Blues in the second round series of the playoffs. That end-to-end goal, that was Game 5. And he just went from coast to coast. Outstanding goal from Nate Mack. I got to watch that goal over and over again. And it was just cool to see him get past the defenders like that, get past everybody like that, just have them in the dust, and he's able to cut to the net and able to score an outstanding goal. Puts the puck past Jordan Binnington for an outstanding goal. Really got to enjoy that. Number 9, let's talk about the reverse retro jerseys. So if you guys did not know, I did do a video on me ranking the best ones and the worst ones, which there were some worst ones, literally. So I did a video on that. You should go check it out if you have not. And I liked some of the jerseys. In fact, some of the jerseys, I was shocked. I was looking at the NHL website, the NHL Shop website, and I was trying to see some Buffalo Sabres goat head jerseys because I love those jerseys, but unfortunately, they didn't have any in my size. So I could not get that, unfortunately, because they didn't have any in my size. And then I looked to see. Let's see, what other jerseys did I look at? I don't know. There was just so many reverse retro jerseys that I liked and that I wanted to get for myself, but they didn't have any in my size. So some of the reverse retro jerseys I looked at, they didn't have any in my size. But I'll tell you my top 5 ones. I like the Sabres one. I like the Penguins one. I like the Ducks one. I like the Lightning. And let's see, what's another one I like? Sabres, Penguins, Lightning, Ducks. There's got to be another one I like. Oh, yeah, the Boston Bruins one. I like the Boston Bruins one. I wanted to get them, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll have any in my size. And last but not least, Panthers and Lightning. We got to see another Battle of Alberta for the second straight year because you guys did not know last year these two teams faced each other in the playoffs for the very first time in 2021, and we got to see it again earlier on this year in the playoffs. I hope I didn't say Battle of Florida. Battle of Alberta. I'm in Battle of Florida. So we got to see a Battle of Alberta, and we got to see a Battle of Florida, which I believe the Battle of Alberta is better, in my opinion. Not going to lie. But it was fun seeing the Battle of Florida, which that series ended up in a sweep for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, and I kind of saw that coming because I knew the Florida Panthers weren't going to beat the Lightning because the Lightning are a stacked team. And those are my top 10 hockey moments of this year. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Might have some disagreements or something. And that's going to do it for this video. So if you enjoyed this video, hit it with a like, hit it with a subscribe button. I will see you guys next time.